Hello, everyone. Starting right now with building your ideal reseller's profile from recruitment to seeing your first dollar. Barak, over to you.
Hey, hello everyone. Thank you for being here. Really excited for this session. So just before we start, I think we can start by having a quick introduction about myself and my colleague Sarit. So my name is Barak Zigdon. I'm a partnership and global reseller manager at Money.com. I've been in the company for almost a year and a half. I'm working on developing partnerships in the Middle East and Africa region, Iberia, and also US from end to end. And a fun fact about me is I'm a basketball player. And right over to you, Sarit.
Awesome. So, yeah, hi guys. So, my name is Sarit Khalamish and I'm based here in the US. I came here to actually start our amazing partner program in North America. And my favorite part about doing partnerships to begin with is really establishing relationships. To me, it's all about the people and also having fun while doing it. And last but not least, the fun fact about me is that I love international travel. I've been to over 30 countries globally, and I look forward to resuming travel when we can. So let's
Or-
see, what do we have today, Barak?
Yeah, before we start and, I'll let you speak about the journey. I really, wanna point out that, this session is very practical. So you may want to take notes, understand how we do things internally here in Monday. And of course, it applies to your business with the necessary adjustments, but this is a very practical session. And Sarita, I want to start by, if you can start discussing and letting us know what is the journey of building a partners program? How do you see it? And let's say from end to end.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we speak about partners, and just to kind of focus everyone's attention on today's session, we're specifically talking about resellers because that's what the two of us do here at the company. That's our focus. And I think what's really interesting about the partner journey or building this ecosystem, if you will, is that it's obviously going in a specific direction, right? From the inception of what are you offering, right? You're coming out there, you're trying to grow your business, obviously, um, depending on what realm you're in, you will build the nuts and bolts of what you're offering partners. So that's what you go to war with. And then from there, essentially, there are several areas to focus on. So what we'll cover today is literally one by one, like Barak said, we're going to be very practical, give you some tips and tricks and some tools of the trade that we believe in. Number one, we'll talk about the recruitment. And this is honestly something that goes throughout, right? It's not like something that you say, okay, I'm done. I don't need any more partners. In our case, we keep growing, right? We started from zero, now we're over 100, and we'll keep growing because it's working. Number two, we'll talk about why insert your solution here. So in our case, we'll talk about why Monday and how do we position ourselves out there when we approach potential resellers. Then we'll go into the launch. So I would maybe like kind of put this divide between the initial part and everything that comes after. How do you launch is a very specific process. And then from there, Barak is going to tee us up with some growth practices. So with that, really, I think what is really important to mention, and maybe is not mentioned often enough, is it's a lonely journey. You are your own boss, your own portfolio manager, what have you. It's not easy to get people to say, yeah, I'll sell your product. Sure. It's not easy. It's a lonely product. It's a lonely, not product. Actually, it's a very not lonely product that we sell, but it's just a lonely journey. Don't be deterred. We know what it's like. And there are many other people who are actually on this call as well who are doing the same thing. So just stick to what you do and keep doing it. And I think we'll just jump right in, Barak, if you're cool with
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
into
sure.
recruitment.
Yes, we'll go to recruitment and prior to the recruitment, and it's very important to say that, you know, when you decide that you want to develop your channel and start reselling your product through channel partners, I think in my opinion before the recruitment is do like a proper partners program planning, like how you're going to do it, how you're going to roll out, and that's exactly what brings me to to my to the next slide and discussing about the recruitment process. So again, it all starts and with the planning. So short and long term partners goals based on a go to market strategy, which markets you're going to attack. Assuming, let's say right now, you want to focus on countries where you don't have a good, sales team present there, or you want to go to countries where there is I don't know, a vibe or there is a noise around your solution. So, in my opinion, prior to the recruitment process, just really map out the entire world. You can't just say, I'm going right now all over. I'm recruiting in US, I'm recruiting in LATAM, I'm recruiting in APAC. In my opinion, and it doesn't work like this. There need to be a focus, because once you start discussing with people from a specific territory, you also learn about this territory. You're gonna take what you learn from this territory and of course apply it into your channel sales and sometimes even direct sales. So first, the once you defined your go to market strategy, you have to define who will be the right partner for you. So if I take it to us Monday, at the beginning we started very, very small. We just like spray and pray, we call it. We contacted everyone who wants to be our partner. But then as the company grew and then we felt there is more business coming from the channel, really did like kind of defining who would be the right partner for us. So we're looking for solutions that go along with our solutions, let's say like Salesforce, like Zendesk, or and like Atlassian products that they go very well with monday.com. So depends on what you guys are selling, what your solution is. The definition is very important. So you need to define the right partner, define what size of partners. You understand that at the beginning when you're small, you're not going to catch the big fish, right? It's going to be very, very hard for you to go and grab and speak and recruit, the biggest one. So you have to really, go to the smaller ones, medium-sized one. You have to understand, if they're in the right geography, like you said, what are their capabilities, what other products they're selling, all right? How many years they're in business, and who, if you guys and them have mutual customers, and of course we'll dive into that more. But when you're looking at a partner or a reseller to resell your product, you have to understand they are selling 6, 7, 10, or sometimes even more products, and you need to fight for their salespeople time. You need to go and, in my opinion, go first one to the companies or the resellers that usually don't sell too many products. They have a couple of products in their portfolio. They're very focused on them, and they're looking for additional product or additional software, to diversify their portfolio. So they can, you can take what you do, integrate with what they do, or I don't know, sell it as a bundle. You have a good value proposition for their existing clients. I think it's very, very important. All right, that's also, we will always go back to that, Sarit. When we speak about the planning, we'll always go back to who the partners that you want to tackle and how you do that. Now, when you start the recruitment process, we really believe in extensive research of who you're going to approach, what are the people that you're going to speak to. There are always, if you're speaking about, let's say, companies around 30, 40, 50 people, like resellers, usually you can go right to the C level and speak to them. For companies that are bigger than that, it will be hard. So you need to identify like 3 to 5 people from that reseller you're going to target. Learn what they do, learn where they come from, follow them on LinkedIn, look if there are any, I don't know, blog posts or any Google, in Google, like any articles or they did. And then like the next stage would be, blitz via multiple channels. And I think that's one of the most important thing when you are doing recruitment and you are, going after, let's say, you're right now focusing on Poland, for example, or focusing on Spain, for example, and you mapped out all the companies that you want to tackle, right? And then you send all of them an email, and then also afterwards you send them a LinkedIn, through Sales Navigator or multiple channels. But then at the end of the day, you lose track of what you do. Use automation tools, marketing automation tools. Do like a blitz. I feel that LinkedIn Sales Navigator is one of the most useful tools to use to recruit partners. You can do campaigns, you can use enrichment tools, and so on and so forth. And I think what Sarit, we've seen this a lot at the beginning when we analyzed what we did in the past. We used to send like those approaches to people with like, I don't know, 30, 40 lines about what we do, who we are, why you need to partner with us. I think that was very wrong, because the
Never
response was
works.
never works. The response rate was very, very low. Your goal and your KPI when you actually, send those blitz emails is to get a meeting. That's what you want. You want them to hear you. You want them to, get to, into a place where you can actually speak to them and show them why they need to partner with you, and that would be the KPI. So sorry, just a question that we I think I want to tackle you and ask you that you told me once, what was the craziest thing you did to recruit a partner?
Thank you, Barak. So, first of all, great points here, really well taken. And I think to those of us who are listening today, you're on different parts of your channel building journey. And I think, from my perspective, when you start, you have to do some crazy stuff, right? Because every new partner counts. And I recall one particular instance when I was just starting out with a specific product, and I was trying to get attention from partners, and it's very difficult, as some of you are probably nodding in your seats. So what I actually ended up doing was I focused on a partner that had a lot of visibility in the ecosystem I was looking to penetrate, and I couldn't get time with them. And so I said, you know what? I will just book a ticket and I will tell them I am coming to your neck of the woods for a client meeting, which I did not have. Um, Nevertheless, they took my meeting. So I actually brought pizza for the whole team, and I met with their developers, I met with their sales team, and we had a great time. And that really opened the door for a whole slew of conversations and fast forward the partnership. So do whatever it takes. I'm not saying you have to fly to wherever they are, because you can't now, but do whatever it takes, approach multiple people, and really don't be deterred. And maybe one more word of optimism, if you will. I think if you do all of this and you stick the course, you really kind of stay on this recruitment path and you really invest in it, you will start seeing people coming your way. So it's not only us going to them and trying
Yeah.
to recruit them. Every new partner you add to your ecosystem is more cloud for you as an organization. So that's my word of optimism.
Yeah, and that's a great story, Sarit. And that never give up if you really target a partner that you think will bring a lot of value to your company. That's the way to do this. I just really want to recap what I said in the last slide and really go through the stages that we do internally, but also applies to think everyone who is looking to recruit resellers. And first of all, this first step would be like we call it here monthly priorities. We have a business development team where they actually every single month they go and they analyze where do we see a lot of traction coming from, where do we need more partners, where is our weakest spot, what else do we need in our channel, and really prioritize week by week what our business development team is going, where and who they're going to target. Okay, then they're going and speaking with us and like the managers of the territory and doing like a kind of a territory sync. All right, please tell me, we see that there is not a lot of sales, I don't know, in South Africa or in Japan or whatever. Can you please tell me about how it's going there? How your current partners are? What do they do? Are you in a, maybe you are I don't know, in the process of recruiting another partner? So this is extremely important. Like it all again, it goes back to planning. Before you approach, make sure you plan and you have something to offer. Then our biz dev team is going to do like a really extensive research, like when we have like those weekly syncs of what they do, where they're at, they're coming to us with numbers. All right, so we found out that there are, let's say, 3 Google partners, 4 Microsoft partners, and 5 Atlassian partners in that territory. The ones that fit our portfolio would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you think? I will go to the LinkedIn, to my LinkedIn, and see maybe I have mutual connections with these people, if I know about them, if I heard about them, and if right now they fit my current portfolio. Sometimes it's not good timing, maybe I don't have the capacity to handle them. I need to have the every partner that comes into our channel is getting 100% attention and dedication from their channel manager. So I want to make sure that if I have a partner that joins my portfolio, I I do everything in my power to to make them successful. Then the fourth stage, it's doing the outreach. As I said, always go and do use automations to do that, which is extremely important. Once you do the outreach, remember the KPI. What's your KPI? To get them on a call. And this is a very crucial point, Sarit, is the qualification call. Sometimes you speak to them, they have this amazing profile on LinkedIn, or they seem to be an amazing fit, but then you speak to them, you understand it's totally different. So it's qualification calls for both sides to see whether there is a potential here. Then usually how it goes here internally, after the qualification call, it's qualified. Our biz dev team is handing it over to the channel partner managers to actually carry on the conversation with the potential reseller and see if there is a good fit. Go through the program review, evaluation of the tool, how we're going to launch it together, what we're going to do, and so on and so forth. Then, of course, we have the partnership agreement, and these are kind of recapping the stages that we are going internally. I think that every single stage is very 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 important. What do you think about this, Sarit? Maybe you want to share with us some of your
Yeah,
experience recently recruiting partners.
for sure. So I just wanted to say, so one thing is because our partner organization is quite mature, we're very blessed to have PDRs, like a BDR, but for partners, if you will. So we actually have a team, like Barak was mentioning. So just to really clarify for those of you who are listening and you're just starting out, you might not have step 6 because you are doing the recruiting and also qualifying and also closing. So just one quick word on that. Now, with step 5, you might actually want to exit. You might not want to continue with said prospect because you're evaluating them, they're evaluating you, and like you said correctly, Barak, you might not want to pursue it because it's not a good fit for a multitude of reasons. I can say, and we'll get to this point later on regarding, how much attention would they give you? Is there a click? Like, is it working? Right? When you speak to an organization, you also want to make sure that you are on the same wavelength. You really enjoy kind of participating on calls and just being in business together. So I think if that's not there, the culture is not really aligned, don't proceed. You'll have other opportunities. So that's perhaps my 2 cents. And I would also say, with regards to the agreement, if you just go one back real quick, I would just say ease of doing business. Just make sure that you have a digestible, easy agreement to deal with. So let's continue on.
All right, maybe you can also share with us right now, like how do we make people fall in love with us? If I know I like saying this, and resell Monday, or
Yeah.
maybe you can share with the audience, how do you get your product to be resold through channel.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think, first of all of you listening today, you know that your product is great, right? So you know it inside, you know it organizationally, and now you have to go out there and really project that value outside of the organization. And I think what's really cool is that every company is unique in its own way. You know what makes you unique. You know what is your secret sauce, and you need to play on that because that is what prospective partners would see. Now, I think at the beginning of this whole process, what you're thinking of is, how do I grab the mindset share from those successful partners? Because obviously, like you said, Barak, you try to go after certain goals, some smaller partners, some larger partners, maybe like a long-term goal, because they might not come out of the gate. But I think what's really interesting is just thinking about it up front, and also transcending what you can do for them, what makes you unique, and what's the give get, like we've talked about earlier. Just make it really interesting, make it very compelling. And I think in our case, what we offer and what really is the Monday value is extreme attention and transparency. We're a very transparent organization. We share a lot with partners, more than most companies would, more than most companies would even share with their employees, to be honest. And we expect the same in return. So it's a two-way street. And I think we're extremely collaborative. So that comes across from what I'm hearing, right? We're very passionate about what we do. We want others to enjoy and benefit what Monday does. And we treat them like family. We want them to be with us, and they are an integral part of what we bring to the market. So my goal here, right, when Barak and I go, and all of our team, the goal is really to create this sense of excitement, like this prospective partner whom you got on a call would then say, oh gosh, I'm kind of sad this call ended. I really want to continue talking to Barak. I really want to keep talking to Monday because there is something there. There is definitely a potential. And I think the last thing is creating a sense of urgency to keep moving, because your role as someone who is building this channel program is really to keep things moving. And I think with that, I would love to hear from you, Barak, if COVID-19 has changed anything from a partner recruitment and just building the partnerships at large.
Yeah, that's a good question. At the beginning we thought that after we weren't able to fly anymore, usually where there is a good partner and start a good relationship and you started talks and evaluation, we fly over to the partner and we close the deal over there. Then we thought that it would be very very difficult, for us to recruit partners, around with the situation. However, we packaged the situation, as a kind of a selling point, saying that, all right, because of the COVID right now, everyone needs to use Monday.com. So that's kind of, bringing value to your clients or something like that. And actually, we saw a massive impact. A lot of new partners came in, and since the beginning of the year, I think we grew by let's say 20-30% of adding new partners. So which is great. So again, it's all about how you package it. And I do want to, like, uh, that's related to my next slide. I do want to focus on, and showing you an example of how do we make partners, fall in love with us. How do we get partners, resellers, to say, I want to work with you. And like Sarit said, we create this, sense of excitement. And the way that we work internally in Monday, that we convey a message to the partner, which is completely true. We are going to make sure that you are going to make money. We are going to put a lot of attention to this partnership, unlike any other vendor. And there are a lot of good vendors out there. And I think that the bigger ones are like, all right, you want to be a partner, bring some money, sign a piece of paper, and you're a partner. You can, go ahead and bring business, and you need to climb your ladder yourself and work very hard to be successful. And Monday, we think differently. If we recruit a strategic partner, the easiest thing is, like, sign a piece of paper, but then let this just fall and nothing's happening. I know a lot of vendors, and I have a lot of colleagues in different companies, that they are in partnership with the biggest resellers, around there, but they're not generating business. And I think that I can point out to that specific point where, they probably didn't, first of all, didn't plan right the partnership launch, which we're going to touch, and they didn't create that excitement. And I want to share with you an example of, strategic partner that we're trying to recruit. And by the way, they're about to sign very soon. We're about to, we're reaching out and trying to recruit, and they are reselling only Google products. Okay, and they're a very big company, a lot of enterprise clients in a very good territory where we feel that there is a big potential for us to do business together. So I came, I asked when we did our business team handed over, to this, partners qualified lead. They handed over to me, and we started the talks, and then during those talks, I felt that, maybe we should have a kind of a wider conversation. Let's gather all the stakeholders in the company in a room, and let's present what Monday does. So I had a conference call with, let's say, 15 people and every single C-level of the company and board member, everyone was there. So that showed a lot of trust, on my side. So they're very, very serious, right? Then I prepared the presentation. I came ready. I came and presented why we should partner, why your territory is so important to us, why we need to partner with you and not with others, how we can generate business. And I really mapped out to them the entire plan that what I'm going to do with them. And 5 minutes after the meeting, I get an email from one of the guys. This was brilliant. Thank you very much for the presentation. We will revert to you as soon as possible. Then day after, I got this email, and I pointed out right here. We would like to proceed. The first thing, we would like to proceed with a partnership with Monday.com. When you get this email, you understand that you did something right. You positioned yourself as a vendor that will bring value to that company. Right now, they're focusing only on Google, and that's what they do. All right, and then they're going to, you know, put you in the loop and start selling you, and not just that, they are going to establish a team of 4 or 5 people that are going to be fully dedicated to Monday. So we're going to start another revenue stream to the you know to their program, which is, for me, when I got this email, to be honest. And I do manage a lot of partners, and I've been here for a while to see the growth. I get so excited because I know that on the other side there are people who are willing to work with me, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that they're making money from the first day. And I think that's what brings us to the next slide. So what we do when agreement is signed, right, Sarit?
All right, yeah, let's do this. So we specifically put this kind of confetti up here because obviously this is like the cherry on top, right? We work so hard, we try to get those calls lined up, and it's usually multiple calls. Obviously, we did not get into all the details. You can imagine it's typically at least 2 or 3 calls. And all that effort, and finally it's happening. And just like a side note, from my perspective, we actually close all those deals through Salesforce, and it's a small thing, but whenever you actually click on agreement is signed, we have a new partner, it actually does confetti, which is really fun because we work really hard for it. And then we dive into business, right? We need to start creating that value that we were talking about because we are people of our word. So let's get into it, right? Let's see what's in the partnership launch for us. So I wanted to say one thing that I've heard in passing, from partnership mavens out there. There is this stat that says the first 30 days of a partnership will determine the success of the partnership. And I think it's very true because the first 30 days are kind of this like capsule of time where, it's the honeymoon phase. You really want to get everybody connected to the organization, to your company, and also really get them excited about the decision they just made, right? They just made a big decision, which includes their time, their people. They need to keep staying excited and really see that value. So that's really our big splash in launching the partnership. So we have several steps here, and I'll kind of go through them quickly, and then we'll go into the growth of the entire partnership. So initially, we start enabling, right? Like we want to get them trained on the product so that they know what they're doing. We actually started a certification process, which we offer through an LMS that we chose. So we have all the learning available. They can do it at their own pace. It's really useful. I would say, in terms of just like the cadence that you speak with your partner, you need to make sure that they are engaged, they're with you. It's like an ongoing cheerleading process, if you will, for lack of a better description. And, keep them engaged, keep them abreast of what's happening at your company. So whenever we have some big news, Monday just got XYZ happening. So we just want them to be part of what's happening organizationally. Now, let's talk about connecting them to what we do by really establishing this trust. And I think this is just about the relationship, right? Like talking to them, even inside of business, right? Like business is interesting, but to a degree. I think just knowing what makes them tick, understanding what they're after, really kind of drilling down to what is the ideal customer for them, what are they looking for, what are they looking to get out of the partnership with you. So all those things need to be ironed out and kind of positioned through a business plan. So don't be afraid about talking about numbers. Don't be afraid of that. Be very clear. I think that companies that make it extremely clear what the expectations are will be surprised to see that people are actually connected and tied to those anchors. I think it's really important, and never stop celebrating, right? So just marketing and everything that goes around that initiation of the partnership. And I would just end by saying, start generating, right? Like, I know, Barak, when you and I were talking earlier, you said, that first dollar, even if it's a loss for a company, like no matter how, like just bend over backwards to make sure that they see money, right? They have to start being successful. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, that would be like, will lead me to my next slide. And I think, in my opinion, the most important thing, like what you said, when first 30 days are very important, right? You get them excited and everything is right now like, new, fresh honeymoon phase. But you need to make sure that while they're being enabled, while they're planning the GDM strategy with the managers, you need to start thinking of how you're going to, make with them the first dollar. Again, even if you lose, and we do it a lot by sending hot leads, assigning paying accounts to them, or whatever we can, to make sure that they're successful. So passing the phase where everyone is everyone is enabled, everyone is right now everyone knows the product, it's spread out across the company. How do you grow the business? How do you make money? And I think that it requires few things, but it all starts with a kind of a think big. And that's kind of the way that I like positioning it. When I go into a partnership with the clients, I always tell them, we have a lot of kind of deals, like from $1,000 to 20 to 100K to 200K deals. I want you guys to think that, the small deals, believe me, I don't care about them. Below 10, 15, 20K, it's kind of like things that you get every day. I want to focus with you of how we're taking our product and selling it of a 100K deal, 80K deal, or even 200 or 300. That's what I care about. And when you convey the message of thinking big, believe me, those guys, when they hear those numbers, they will follow you. All right. Then, you know, comes the rest of what you can do in order to become successful. So, as we said, even if it comes by losing money, you need to make sure that they're making money. So, here are the few things that you can do in order to become successful. Cost selling with your sales team internally here at Monday. So if our sales team is selling with the partner still gets full compensation. So you need to think about a model where your internal sales team is working with partners. How do you compensate them? You want to make sure that they don't have any contradiction with your sales team. You want them to work together, because at the end of the day, they will be deal enablers for your sales team and vice versa. Okay, let's say you're in a territory where the client has to buy through a partner and needs a local support in a local language. You will have to use your partner. How do you compensate them? Or vice versa, your partner has a very good lead, but he's stuck. He can't do the demo. He can't sell. He's stuck with the client. You bring fresh face. You can right now cost sell together with your sales team and partners, and bring this deal home. Right. The next thing would be do account mapping. Now it depends again on your product, how many clients you have, how big you are. But believe me, always, if you guys are selling SaaS solutions, you won't believe how many signups you get from different territories. And there is a high chance that someone signed up to your platform and also he's the partner's client, right? You get their domains list, and you start looking for mutual clients, or you come to them and said, all right, these are the clients that I have in my territory. Do you recognize any of them? Do you have any relationship with any of them? Let's approach. All right.
Mhm. Yep.
Like in my experience, we bring a lot of deals from account mapping. Okay. Another thing that we do is co-marketing. So like we come and say, all right, let's go big right now. We started this partnership. We're going to invest 20K in the next quarter to market our collaboration, doing webinars, podcasts, events, email campaigns, online campaigns, you name it, whatever works for you. And you guys put $1, we put $1. So if it's 20K, you guys put 20K, we put 20K, or whatever the budget is. We like to go aggressive on that. It builds a lot of trust in the partnership. All right. Also, professional services depends on your business model and how you do this. Here internally at Monday.com is a product company. We do not provide any professional services. We funnel everything to our partners. So what we do, and if you get a professional service request from someone in that territory, we funnel it to the new partner. It's them making 100% of the money. Or in addition to that, if we get a request from the sales team that, oh, we have a client that needs local support, or we have a client who needs specific integration, good. I funnel it to that partner. I funnel business and I funnel money. And of course, like Sarit said, and I think it's extremely important, is creating the pipeline. Ensure that partner is connected to the goals. You guys have goals. You have go-to-market strategy. You want to make sure that the goals are met. So really take the goal, break it down into small steps, and see how you drive there. It's really kind of in a nutshell, and of course there are more ways and more things to do, but these are in my opinion the most important things. And sorry, that's coming to you right now, the question, we position this session of what you need to do and how things are going, but again, there are challenges, right? Not everything is good
It's
or
not super rosy,
yeah,
indeed.
super rosy and
Yeah.
rainbows and everything. Of course, there are challenges,
hmm
and I really want to hand it over to you. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the challenges that
Absolutely.
even you're facing, or you had with the recruiting partners, or yeah.
Yeah, so I will go over a couple very quickly and then we'll just leave a couple minutes for questions, which I've seen in the chat. So we'll address all of them. So obviously, it's not always the case that you reach out and you get a response, right? And then let's say you do get that response, you are on that first call, maybe even on the second call, but there is an issue. The issues could range, and I kind of listed a few that come to mind. I'm sure everybody can relate. Sometimes you actually have partners who are hesitant. They're not sure. They're like, this sounds interesting. It sounds intriguing, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to put, people and money and investment behind this. So my advice to you is don't waste your time, just keep moving. Maybe they'll come back. Like we never close the door. Essentially, we are always open to pick up the conversation again. Just move on. Same with timing. Sometimes you email, you even meet with a partner or prospective partner rather, and they say, "Listen, guys, this sounds great, but we only evaluate new partners come Q4 or name that quarter." And you say, "Okay, no problem. I'll come back to you then." You put a reminder, you come back, and depends on what happens, the flavor of the day. So don't be discouraged. Now, sometimes you will just hear a plain vanilla no, right? Like, sorry, this is not something we're looking to add. We're extremely focused on a specific, let's say, technology. Or even like the more thoughtful ones would say, this is great, but it doesn't fit with our strategy. And I actually appreciate that when it comes from a senior person at the company, because I don't think we want to be there either, right? So knowing what their strategy, knowing what they stand for is extremely important. Sometimes one of the partners on the other side would want to partner and the other won't. So if there's a disagreement on their side, perhaps move on. My favorite one perhaps is something that you should really avoid doing, which is don't be single threaded. Don't deal with just one person. I think that there is a lot more accountability on the prospective partner side when there are few people on the call or in the room. If you're just dealing with one person, they can, make a decision on their own and don't really share it with others. And that's kind of a risk in my mind. And last but not least, there is always the risk of just not getting the right attention after the agreement is signed. And luckily, we have measures in place to, get out of those relationships. So be smart about it. Don't waste your time when there is no value, and just keep moving. It's a very fast-paced business, and I think with that, Barak, we might want to answer a few questions. Would that be a good
uh,
idea?
yeah, sure. So I'll read out the questions and we can
Yeah, I
answer them.
saw maybe two or three, so let's hit them.
Yeah, so we have a question, first one from Bridget, like, what is your flexibility with custom agreements? I want the program to be attractive to everyone and scalable, but some partners want to negotiate terms. Thoughts? Maybe I can take this because
Sure.
I have a lot of experience in agreements. So Bridget, I think it depends on your size of your organization. So when you are small, you can make more compromises. Like you can really say, all right, let's change this and let's change that. You always need to have your version of the agreement. But as you grow, it will be harder for your organization to change the agreement. Okay. And you guys, like, I'm telling you the other way around. Usually resellers are signing our agreement, but when we speak to big resellers, we need to sign their agreement. They're already at the position. It's like kind of a growth curve. So it's a very good question. And again, it all depends on your company size and where you're at and what your plans are. Yeah.
Next question. I'll take
Next.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a question here from Adil. Do you assign all your clients, even existing ones, to a partner? So the answer is no, because we actually have a large, very vibrant direct sales team. So essentially, the direct sales team deals with their clients, the partners, depending on their geography, either get some leads where we have no boots on the ground, or they actually bring their own client base to the party. So hopefully this answers the question for you. And I
Yeah.
see another question here. Maybe you want to take this one,
Yeah,
Barak?
sure, sure. So how can you do account mapping on a scalable way? Um, I have to give a shout out to our BizOps team that always make our life easier. Right?
Yes,
They
absolutely.
create those reports for us and those dashboards that we can do it easily. So we use an internal BI tool. We use Looker, where we are able to insert, just copy paste list of domains, and we we'll pull out from our existing database like if they ever opened an account, if they have a paying account, what's the ARR, and so on. So to be honest, I'm not really sure how they did it, but I know that our BizOps team, they are considered as magicians, so they make our life easier, as I said. But I'm sure there's like depends again on your solution and what you do and how you do and where you keep your data. There must be a way to integrate kind of a BI tool and generate reports.
Right. And maybe just one more word about that. So, with regards to the account mapping, my advice would be not to boil the ocean on day one. Like, I don't think you need all their 400 customers, honestly, because
Yeah.
I think even um, when you put like the top 20 or top 30, let's say, customers, through the system, that would be really useful. I think getting like a huge list is going to be too much. All right. And I think there is another last question. I saw it right here. So this is a question from Graham. And the question was, is this also applicable to other, hang on, to other realms other than SaaS? So the answer I think is yes, but it would have to be adapted. We obviously spoke very heavily, kind of focused on SaaS solutions because that's our day to day, and I think it applies to a broad range of SaaS solutions. And then yeah, since you're a customer, we'll be happy to take it offline as well and perhaps help you there.
Yeah.
And last question, Barak.
What measures do you take when a partner signs and then disappears? I think that it takes us back to the qualification call.
Mm-hmm.
You're when you do the qualification call, you need to understand who you are, dealing with. If they have the time, if they have the resources, like we used to say in man.com, yeah, come become our partner. Right now we have requirements. If you want to become our partner, you need to establish a team, three dedicated people that are going to be 100% doing monday.com and selling and providing professional services around monday.com. It happened in the past that partners signed and disappeared, all right, and which is, in my opinion, very unprofessional, but it happens. And I think that what you need to do is, like, first of all, have like the match expectations at the beginning, like what you guys are going to provide us to make this partnership. And if you get that excitement, transfer to them, like, we are going to provide you leads, we're going to provide you accounts, we're going to do this, we're going to do this to make you successful. You'll not, that would kind of be like the way that you prevent them from disappearing. But if they disappear, I think that you can try to connect or try to create that excitement again. And again, like Sarit said, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you don't have that click and you need to move on. Like, that would be my answer. Anything to add to that, Sarit?
Maybe just one last point because we are coming to time. I would say always make sure that there is a path to escalation so that whoever runs the partner organization, if it's a VP or someone higher up, connects with the CEO on the other side so that if something happens, you can understand why the priorities shifted. And as we're concluding, just wanted to thank you so much for your time today. And since we're all about learning, we are going to send you an email right after the session. So would love your feedback. Would love to just hear from you. And so just make sure that you look at the promotion tab because it might fall in there. And that's really it. Would really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And thank
Thank you
you
very
so
much.
much for being with us.
Thank you very much. Feel free
And
to add us on LinkedIn, and we can
yeah.
connect and communicate there. And we appreciate your time, and have a wonderful day.
All right, guys. Thank you. And to many successful partnerships to all. Bye bye.